Hello, everyone, and welcome to Coffee with Ori. It's been a minute, and I know we've been having a lot of problems with the system. So I just want to say hi and happy Monday to everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the channel. And I hope everybody has had a great day. Anybody that knows me knows that I've always been a very cheerful person on Mondays. I love Mondays because I believe that Mondays is the beginning of the week. And it's a time to start over, to begin something new process, new little bit of everything. So I don't know what the topic is or the topic was. What the topic was for today, because as you saw, we've been running, and of course, last week, you know, um, it was actually my fault. But we've been talking about a lot of stuff, and not just on this, not just on Coffee with Ori, but also Dr. D's channel. And I feel in gratitude because she invites me, and whatever I can do, I will do. Niete, you're the best. Hugs and kisses to all of you. Love and light to all of you. Well, since I don't remember what the topic was for today, let's talk about something that many people are really forgetting, which is Monday. How's about New Mondays? How's about New Mondays? No, actually, you know what? I was people watching today when I went to the gym, and I was just observing people and observing people as I was driving, and I had some mishaps with people this week that I have given my heart to openly, and not heart as in love, but love as in family, and because I chose not to participate in certain things that were being said, automatically I was ungrateful. I was not a good person. I was this, I was that. And to be honest with you, at the end of the day, like I said to Dr. D this morning, it didn't faze me. I'm at this point in my life where if you want to be my friend, if you want to be, because I look at my friends as family. If you want to be part of my family, then so be it. But if you don't have the balls to talk to me as a human being and explain things to me and break it down so that I can understand it, or sit down with me and have a civil conversation and say, look, you said this, I didn't like it, I didn't appreciate it. What am I going to bother for? You know what I'm saying? My blood relatives live thousands of miles away from me. At the end of the day, I've always been a loner, and I will continue to be a loner. But when I love from my heart. When I give from my heart. When I give you advice, it's from the bottom of my heart. When I read from my heart. So let's talk about love today, because it's many kind of love. It's many kind of love that I actually I saw today. Okay, first in the gym, I saw these two old couples. They had to have been in their 80s because they were too wrinkled to be in their 70s. And the old man was walking on a walker, and she was walking with a cane. And they were doing the bicycle, but the lower bicycle, not the one that I do. Like, they were doing the low one. And they were doing like 5-pound weights. He would put up the weights, and he would help her, and then she would help him. And and every time he would put the weight on, he would touch her face. And it was almost like borderline, like I just wanted to break down and cry, because to me, that is love. It's not about talking about, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Because, people can say I love you until they drop dead. But it doesn't mean that it's true. Doesn't mean that it means anything. I've been told I was loved by some of the people that I adored the most, and turned to find out that all they did was talk shit behind my back. So, you know what? The kind of love like that I don't need. But that was the past. I'm not living then. I'm living now. But even now, like I said, even now, yesterday, I had a little incident that I didn't expect from someone who I never disrespected. And how people work on their sobriety for so many years. I worked on my bipolar for so many years because first I was in denial. So I've worked on myself so much that I feel I'm in a place where I feel so happy about everything and grateful about everything. And every time I try to give people advice and they don't take it and their life falls apart, it's not my problem. It's not my monkey. It's not my show. It's not my monkey. It's not my circus. I cannot be bothered when people are trying to call me with their nonsense because they expect that their bad planning should be my emergency, because it will never be my emergency anymore. Now, back to the hand loving, okay? Then again, that couple I thought was very beautiful. I happened to go next door to Dollar Tree to get a couple of other things, and I saw a mother and a child. And I saw the gentleness that the mother handled her child, even though if it was me, I probably would have slapped the shit out of him because he was obnoxious and rude. But you know what? Mothers, some mothers, not all, some mothers have the patience of an angel. And the mother got on her knees and looked at her son and said, use your words. Stop yelling. Stop crying. Use your words. What do you want? And I saw with the patience and the calmness that she said that, and it was blissful love everywhere. Blissful love that I can hear. I hear plates and spoons, and so it was, to me, that was blissful love of a mother and a child. That was amazing. Okay, especially with the racket he was making, and you guys out there, you know how children can be. Some of these new children, they're not even millennials. They're younger. They're older than millennials. They're like crystal crack babies. That's what I want to call them, crystal crack babies, because they are all over the place, and they know more than we do. But sometimes you just want to slap the doo-doo out of them, because sometimes they get a little too ornery, and sometimes they get a little beside themselves, trying to make it seem like they're the parent and you're the child. So I don't have time for that patience. Okay. Now there's another kind of love, which we talked about this before, which is an abusive love. When a woman's in an abusive relationship, and she's tolerating the abuse that the man is giving her by doing things and putting her in a spot. She was in the supermarket and she was buying something in Winn-Dixie. And I was buying stuff, to make, like chicken and vegetables and salad for the week. And I see this woman in the counter, and she was paying for stuff, right? And she's using her EBT card, I think it is, or whatever the card is called. Anyway, and it's a Caucasian woman. She was pretty young, and then it's this guy who's the Caucasian, also tattooed all over the place. That, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I just look at it like, my God, he just looks like he came from a trailer park, really. And you can tell the type of people that they are just by looking at them. Like I said, she was young. She had to have been in her 20s, maybe late 20s, and he was he could have been in his late 30s, or he could have been in his late 40s because he looked old, but I don't think he was that old. I think the drug, because if you don't, I trust me, when you've been around people that do drugs, you know what people on crystal meth look like. So anyway, like I was saying, so she was paying for everything, and she thought that she was LA food forms. Yes, many different ways of love. But anyway, as I continue, so I saw her. She was in front of me, so she was paying everything, and the lady said, "This is the amount of money that it is," and she did not have enough. So I reached into my pocket, my front pocket, which is weird because I never, ever have cash with me. I always use my card, but I remember that I bought cash inside with me that I found cleaning out the thing in my car. And I was, I had it in my pocket just to buy the lottery. So anyway, so I gave her the $5, and then then all of a sudden he came with 2 bags of chips, and she ended up having to put back bread that she was buying for her child or her children. And she looked at him, and he looked at her, and he said, "Just pay for it." And she just paid for it. And it took everything in my power not to hit that man with my cart. It took everything in my power. Because I can't say, and people out there, you can't all say that, these young girls, they really know what they're doing. A lot of these young girls come from broken homes, or they come from abusive homes with their mothers or their fathers being abusive, or brothers being abusive with them, or uncles, or being molested, or whatever the case may be. And then they end up with someone who tells them that they look beautiful. And that's the first person they go to, and they know what they do, and they still with them, and the man beats them, and then because she had bruises on her arms, and they could have been from anything, but come on, they look like he manhandled her. But you know what? She took the bread back, and she put something else back that was for the kids, and she paid for his stuff. And like I said, it took everything in my being not to hit the man. Okay. That's another kind of love. So when they leave, there's this woman there on the register. And I don't know if they do this because they want to see you argue, but nobody in Winn-Dixie was wearing a mask. There were people wearing masks, people from outside, like me, and let's just say this. Let's put it this way. Not trying to be stereotypical, but here in West Palm Beach, the minorities were wearing masks. The Caucasians were not wearing masks at all. And I have to say that because I actually walked around the whole store, and no Caucasian person had a mask on, not even the ones that worked there. So I just looked, and I asked the lady in the front, that was taking care of me. I asked her, I wanted to know, why are you guys not wearing masks? And she said, well, because we don't have to. We don't have to. And she gave me this long drawn out thing, how this is all political, this is not real. And right there and then I knew she was a Trump supporter. I don't get into politics because politics is the dirtiest thing in the world, okay? And I ain't going to tell you that I voted for him. I'm not telling you I voted for Biden, but whoever voted for what, my honest opinion, they're doing a lousy job. Whoever is in power, they're doing a lousy job. They're focusing on shit that they should not be focusing in, like abortion and other things, gay rights or whatever, things that are not important. And that excuse my word, that Caitlyn Jenner, that cunt, she needs to get the fuck off of TV because she's talking too much about the poor people when she should be worrying about removing her penis. And that's all she should be worrying about. So anyway, going back, not going on a tangent. This was another type of love because I asked her, why are you not wearing masks? She said, well, because, this is make believe, whatever. So I just looked at her and I said, but wouldn't it be a lot easier if you wore a mask, ma'am? I said, for the older people that are here and also for the children. And she said, everybody has the right to do whatever they want to do. Her name was Patricia. And I said, I understand, Karen. I get you. Don't worry about it, Karen. I know exactly what you're talking about. And she just looked at me like I had 3 heads. I paid and I walked away. And when I went to play the lottery, the girls behind the counter in the lottery and in the pharmacy, they all had masks. And they were all minorities. So my thing is this, okay? Forget about the love that I saw with the 2 people, the old people. Forget about the love, the compassion with the mother and the child. What about the love of humanity? These people clearly have no love inside of them. Okay. Case in point, to get to my home, you have to pass a little highway, which if you go to the left, it takes you to 95, and if you go to the right, it takes right over that bridge. It takes you right to Mar-a-Lago. So I was gonna make. I passed the light, and I was gonna make a left into where I live, which is a half a block in, and it's private. And this. I'm in the middle, and this truck stops and lets me, and then this woman, okay, I'm gonna call her Chihuahua. This woman, she's driving, Latina, she's driving, oblivious on the freaking phone, okay, new car, but she's on her cell phone. And she decides that she's not gonna stop. So I decided to just push my truck in there. So she's looking at me and I'm looking at her and I'm just telling her, why are you being an idiot? You know that you're supposed to stop in the intersection and let me go through because that is what you do. This is a block. And she just looked at me like I had 3 heads. Again, where's the compassion? Where's the compassion? Where's the compassion of trying to help people when you go to the store? Because I'm sure everybody has seen it. If you go to the store and someone needs $1 and you have it, or if you don't have it yet because you haven't paid for your stuff yet, why don't you give it? Why don't you help? $1 is not going to kill you. Everybody now is donating. Everybody wants a donation for this or a donation for that. And I give to everyone. You know why? Because part of surviving in life is giving. Part of receiving blessings is giving without complaining, without feeling remorse, without feeling like people owe you. Do it because you want to. Do it because humanity is worth it. Do it because even if there are Karens in the world or Dicks in the world, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, the world has always been filled with Karens and has always been filled with a lot of Dicks. So at the end of the day, what can we do? We can't do anything about it. We have to send light and love to those who love us and appreciate us and give them the best of who we are. Okay. And it's taken me a minute. It really has. But I can tell you that the love and compassion, the love and compassion that I have and the empathy that I have for the world right now because of the dimensions that we're living in, the crisis that we're all going through, it's so crucial that we spread love. It's so crucial that we are conscious about opening doors and saying good morning and saying good afternoon and saying good evening, even if they don't say anything back. It's a form of flattery. It's also a form of politeness. politeness. It's a form of education. It's a form of being kind and not mean-spirited. The world is filled with too many mean-spirited people that they'll tell you in a minute, I'm a good person. I'm a good person. Like I always say, anybody that has to constantly repeat that they're a good person, they are not a good person. Not at all. They're very naive. They're very selfish. And they're not outgoing at all. All they're worrying about is themselves. They're not worrying about anybody else. So at the end of the day, don't be one of those people who talk about things that happen or those people that watch things that happen. Be those people that make things happen, okay? Because it is important that no matter how bad things are going on in the world and this rigmarole that's going on and these games that these politicians are playing, all of them, both Republicans and Democrats. And my honest opinion, why do they have this ass still getting involved in politics with all the shit he's done is beyond me. Get rid of him. Stop him from talking. Stop. Because at the end of the day, you're only creating chaos for everyone else. You know, people are starting to understand, okay, we're in a democracy right now. We are dealing with Democrats. Okay. Dumb too. Get off your asses and do what you need to do. The reason I haven't gone to commercial yet, guys, is 9:38. I wanted to go to commercial in 2 minutes at 9:40 because we started late because we were having problems with the service. So at 9:40, we're going to go to commercial. Right now, it's 9:38. Anyway, like I said, you know, I don't really watch the news. I go through, you know, I have the New York Post on my phone. And when I read these articles, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because people think that this is not population control, and it is population control. So where's the love? Where's the love? First, you start population control by poisoning the farmers' lands, by planting GMOs, by letting them know we can grow your crops faster. Therefore, the feed that your animals eat, it will make them healthier, and they'll be bigger chickens, but then they're filled with hormones. So all of this is in conjunction. I'm not straying from the love. This is what I'm talking about. So what kind of love is it when you go to your farmer, let's say there's 10 farms, and you decide you want to go to this farmland right here because these people are old, and say, I will give you, I will have someone plant seeds in your crops to help your plants grow better and faster. And I'll pay you. But yet you don't tell your neighbor. But you can't tell your neighbor. And that's what has happened all over the world. So basically they plant seeds. And what happens? The winds come, the seeds go to everybody else's land. And then the GMOs are spread. And then when the crop is born or the crop is fully grown, the soil is no good. So the love for humanity, yes. And you're right, Dr. D. Love for the humanity, love is where the land to patronage suffers. And it's true. You know, there was a time where you go, and in many different countries you can go. And in Latin America, Central America, you can go to farms where they have fruit and whatever, and you can sit there. You might not, they don't give you fruit to take, but they give you fruit. And you can sit there and you can eat them. Anyway, guys, look, it's 9:41, so we're going to go to commercial. When we come back, we will finish this. If you have any questions, feel free to call. Well, we're going to commercial now.
Okay. Commercial's not working.
Okay. Well, now where we were getting at, okay. One of the things that we were getting at, the GMOs, it's something that's been going on. That's why what's his name? Willie Nelson had the Farm Aid or whatever. They were trying to help the farmers. People talk about they want to help the farmers. Every politician wants to help the farmers. They want to help the farmers. You cannot help the farmers if the land is bare. Okay. In order for that land to grow and to change and the dirt to change, they would have to plant soybean, which is actually pretty good. The soybean grows in whatever. Or really, really water the land and grow rice. The only two options you really have. I mean, without taking all the dirt off the land and then restarting it. Now, what I can tell you is that is another form of love, which is not happening. I don't know if you guys are aware. I was reading an article that there has been 150 earthquakes between California and Mexico within the past month. Okay, 150 earthquakes, and some volcano activity. That's because there is no love for the land. That's because the 1% wants to make Revelation comes true by poisoning the earth and poisoning us. But the only thing that has ever won over any war is love and compassion and the faith in humanity. Okay? Yeah. People have spent their lifetimes praying. They pray to this phone. They pray to a rock. They pray to God. They pray to Jesus. They pray to a saint. They pray. Faith is also important because the faith that you have, it's a depiction of love. It's a very big, yeah. You and yes. And yeah, you have to. Yeah, Dr. D is saying you have to nurture the land. We have to nurture the land in order for these things to grow, and it's true. But not just nurture the land, nurture the sea. Recently, all of these jellyfishes, I forgot what they're called. They're like round jellyfishes that have been coming out of the water. Hundreds and thousands of them came out in the water. In some places, these crabs are coming out of the water. The horseshoe crabs are just coming out in tons. In some places, again, whales are washing up. Baby whales are washing up on the shores. Why? Could it be global warming? Part of it is global warming, but part of it is these damn sonars that they keep using underneath the water. That they keep using, and then automatically you tell people, and the first thing they're going to tell you is, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Bullshit. There's no conspiracy theory because it was a proven fact. The United States was accused of using sonic information. Just like they said that Cuba used sonic on people. On people. No, it's not HARP. It's not HARP, Dr. D. This is something different. That they use the sonar waves to be able to communicate from one person across this side all the way on the other side of the world through sonar. But what happens? It throws off the sonar of the animals in the ocean, and that's what kills them. But for many years, the United States has made it clear that they are not responsible, that they didn't have such technology. But yet, and then it turns out that yes, when they did come out, Florida has a technology. Of course we do. Come on. We have technology beyond our comprehension. And the only people that understand that are people like me and people like you that tune in, people that meditate, people that can imagine. You can think sometimes and just look up in the sky and say, I know one of these days I'm going to look up into the sky and I'm going to see a flying saucer. Yeah. Do you think that you're the one that's telling yourself that? Or is it your spirit that's telling you that? Because it is your spirit. It's the love of your environment, not just your love, the love of your spirit that's giving you the information. So that's love. So there are many kind of love. To love humanity, to love the earth, to love the water, to love a plant, to love a dog, to love children, to love, many things. But to love unconditional, without bullshit. If you're going to love, love. Don't pretend that you're going to love and then you're going to talk shit. If you either love, you love. If you're not going to love, then don't love. But you know what? State the facts and tell the truth. Don't lie. The world is filled with too many lies, and that's what's going on. That's what's corrupting the love, the circle of love. Love the earth, the air, the water, the humanity at large, every being. You're absolutely right. This is from the Food Alchemy Network. This is absolutely right. You have to love. If you can love humanity, like I always say, I don't love people, I love humanity. What is the difference? Well, people are set in their ways. People are kind of fucked up. So they're set in their ways. A lot of people. But humanity in a whole, I'm talking about Hispanics and Africans and Chinese and Japanese and Koreans and, the melting pot. But they all got to get off their mighty horses, okay? Koreans and Chinese and Japanese and all of them, they got to get over their whole bullshit about black people and all this stuff. Because you know what? This racism shit is bullshit. Why Chinese people, Asian people come into this country and they automatically want to mix with Caucasians because they feel that is the way to be. If you marry into Caucasian, and Dominicans are no different. They do the same thing. If you marry a white person, you marry and you better the race. I don't understand how, because to me, it doesn't better the race at all. I'd rather be in a cultural relationship than to be in a non-cultural relationship. So that's just me. So at the end of the day, I'd rather be with someone who can call me, who I can argue with, that I can say maricón, and they can call me maricón too. I'll be happy with that, rather than to have someone else call me names in another language or call me names in English and act like he or she's better than me. That would be a big problem for me, because then I would want to beat them with a bat all the time. What kind of people I date? Palestinians, Iranians, Hindu, Asians, all Hispanics, Portuguese, Brazilian. I don't really have a problem dating European men if they come from like France or Italy. I don't have a problem with them. Now, would I date someone from Great Britain? Probably not. Probably not, because a lot of the people that have come here, I'm not saying that, they're not Irish. Would I date an Irish person? Yes, if he came from Ireland. Would I date an Australian? Yes, if he came from Australia. I wouldn't date an American Australian that's been here, that was born here. I just wouldn't. Why? I don't know. It's just my preference. But I can tell you that I have love and light for everyone. I wish everyone love and light every day. Everyone in the whole world is in my prayers, good, bad, or indifferent. My enemies, I have none. And if I do have some, I send it out to the universe and I ask the universe to balance it out. If it was my fault, then I will take the blame. But it is not. If it's not my fault, then I just want justice. Simple. You don't have to do anything else except that. ask for justice, and justice will always be served. Treat people the way you want to be treated. But then again, you treat people the way you want to be treated, and if they still treat you like shit, you have to guide them to the door. You don't have to wait until they decide to walk out the door. You can easily get up, grab them to their arm, and say, "Get the fuck out. This is my home." Simple. And it doesn't matter who it is. At the end of the day, you have to love one another. You have a partner, love your partner. You have children, love your children. If your partner's children, love them as you love your own. Respect them as you respect your own. Hitting people, hitting kids, and yelling at them and calling them names, it's not doing anything. You have to sit down with them. You have to sit down and dialogue with them and say, listen, you got to start acting this way or act that way, and change who you are and change the way you're thinking, because if you don't, you're going to fall and things are going to fall apart. So you have to start thinking in ways to send to the universe great affections of love. Like, get up in the morning and sit down in the bed, and before you decide to do anything, before you get up, because there are people who go to bed like dogs. I'm sorry, they go to bed like dogs. And what do I mean by that? Go to bed like dogs. If you go to bed, you don't even pray. You just go to bed and you just throw yourself in bed, and that's it. Not grateful for anything. You just throw yourself in bed, forgetting about everything you got today, the blessings you got. And what do? You just go to bed. Sometimes people wake up in the morning, they don't even give thanks. I'm not one to pray, Our Father, whatever. I don't do that. I have a prayer that I pray every night, which is for the prayer for the dead. And I pray this prayer, and I ask God, spirit angels, guys, to watch over the universe, because I see the visions of all these things that are going to start happening. Right now, they're discovering a lot of things. And once they discover everything that needs to be discovered, trust and believe they're going to try to wipe everybody out like they've done for many, many generations. It's not the first time this world has been destroyed. It will not be the second, nor the third, nor the fourth. So just understand that they're undercover. They're finding things that have been undercover for so many years, that they thought that they didn't exist, that they were myths. And now they're starting to find out that they're not myths. But there are still things that they need to find, which is actual ways to get from a planet to a planet without having to use the spaceship. Once they uncover that, then you know that from there on, we're going to be going. The world already is going down the pipeline like shit in a handbasket, and it really is. But it's okay. But just remember, love yourself as you want as you will want others to love you. Love humanity. Have faith with humanity. Don't change who you are to try to make other people happy, because miserable people will want you to be miserable. People who love to argue will always argue because they are bitter. Don't become part of the bitter club. Do not. When people start to get mad and start yelling at you, acting like a monkey, give them a banana. Don't argue with them. Give them a banana. You want to act like a monkey? Here's a banana. Now shut the hell up. And don't argue. Walk away. Walk away. Do you understand? But have the decency, the common decency to share love. And if people don't share the same love for you that you share for them, what do you lose? What do you lose? You lose absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. You lose nothing. You gain everything. You lose nothing. You lend someone money, they don't pay you back. $100, $200, $300. Guess what? That's how much it was. That's how much it cost you to get rid of them. Don't get mad. Money is money. Do not make it an issue, because if you do, it will become an issue and you will never have it. The love of money, it's not the same as the love of people. The love of things is not the same as the love of people. The love of travel is not the same as the love of people. You have to love people. You have to love humanity. You have to look at all their flaws and look at the possibilities of them overcoming all of this only unified. Because like it was said last week and the week before, even this week, what this world, what the 1% is trying to do and has always tried to do is separate the masses. You separate because we are no longer the minority, we are all the majority. So what do? You separate to conquer. But you can't conquer if all humanity stick together. Black, Asians, Hindus, Indians, Palestinians, Jews, Caucasians, all types of European. If every race was to stick together as one unity, and I'm not talking about the 1%, I'm talking about everyone in America and outside of America and in the Arab nation that is not the 1%, just plain people. If we all extend ourselves with love and we extend love, that's all we need. Because without that, we cannot move forward. Without that, we will not move forward. Without that, we will lose and we won't exist anymore. If you truly love the people that you're with, never go by a day without letting them know how much you love them. Even if they're the biggest pain in the asses, just let them know. People out there love their pets more than they love people. I'm sorry. I had a cat for 17 years and I love my little pussy, but when she died, I had a tear, bloop, bloop, and I got over it. Why? Because it's not a human, it's an animal. Not saying that she wasn't a good animal. She got her ass whooped a couple of times because she didn't respect, but at the end of the day, you know what? She was a very good companion. She was a great companion. For 17 years, she was my friend. And any secret that I had, it was between her and I. Okay? So I'm just letting you know that humanity comes first, and then everything else comes secondary. If you have extra food, cans and stuff that you're not eating, donate it to the food banks, guys. Don't be dicks. Donate them, because there are so many people out here that are hungry, and it's not their fault that they're hungry. A lot of people have lost their jobs, and of course, the Republicans are like, oh, well, we can't be spending that much money, but yet they're still sending you shit so that you can help this candidate. So why are you asking me for $7 a month when you got these other candidates that they have millions of dollars? Ask them bitches to fund your thing, not me. So look out for yourself, okay? It's 10 o'clock. I'm getting ready to sign off. I love you guys. I thank you so much for always being around. I send you love and light every day. If you have a topic for me, please do not hesitate to text me what you want me to talk about. There is no taboo. Whatever I don't know, I will find out and we will talk about it. But you have to be part of the discussion as well, okay? You have to be part of the discussion. You have to call. I appreciate you guys showing up. And I love you, and I love the fact that you guys support me. But also support Dr. D, because her stuff is really interesting. And ladies, on Sunday, she has a program that's all for women, only for women. I don't know the times, but look it up, okay? Or she can write down the time frames or whatever on Sunday and what the page is. But she has a program for women. I've seen it. I think it's excellent. So do that, okay? I love you. Love and light. Go to commercials. I will talk to you on Monday.